All right, back here with Parker Resources, Parker Points, some leadership lessons, help you get organized. Today, we're going to talk about specifically for athletic directors, a planning form. Athletic directing, the primary job in athletic director is support the coaches. You want to support your coaches. So, first and foremost, support the coaches. But one of the ways you support them is by getting organized, having meetings, having these different councils, making things run and facilitate them a little bit better. Um, for your coaches. So one of the ways you can do that is just having a short and long-term plans and having an organized system to help you with that. So today we'll just show you a simple planning form. Maybe it'll get you some ideas today. Maybe it'll get you thinking, help somebody out today. We say this every time in here, but leaders need to do all 10 of these things. You got to set the vision, you got to set the tone, you got to build relationships, you got to communicate, you got to manage a team, you got to adapt, you got to invest, reflect. But it's really organization and toughness, those at the bottom, that really separate. Because everybody can do those things when it's going well. It's hard when it's tough. And that's where showing the toughness comes in. And everybody wants to do those things well, but often organization is the problem. So today, try to help you a little bit with some organization. And here's an athletic department planning and evaluation template. So if I'm an if I'm an athletic director, these are the things that I'm going to be trying to look at. So I'm going to evaluate our department, and then I'm going to update this throughout the year. So the first thing you see at the top, that was just something I liked, having those core based principles. You want to have a great athletic department, you have continuity in coaching, work with the levels above and below, meaning good relationships with colleges, good relationships with middle schools, feeder teams. You want to be great at promoting programs, you want to be great at communicating. So then you really want to have plans for participation, production, that's winning, and projects or long-term plans. So the first thing you look at is participation. It's never, what's going well. Like maybe our, you know, JV volleyball team is really struggling, but our, softball numbers are really good. Or so, so right then, softball's going really well, got good numbers. Whatever it is, where is the participation really strong? You got to have something going well. Try to find two or three things that are going well. What needs to improve? In that example I just said, you say, well, volleyball numbers are down, softball numbers are up, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. But be real with it. Get the participation numbers, look at it. You get a participation chart, and you really want to see, are there gaps? Is there a big gap in females versus males, or is there a big gap in one grade or one sport? Where are some deficiencies? And then you take that list of what needs to improve, and you come up with a couple of things that we're going to try to do to improve. We're trying to get more people participating overall in the department. And then you need to rehash that every season, bring it back out, reevaluate what's going well, reevaluate what's not going well, and then look at that plan. Maybe the plan needs to adapt. Remember, adapt is one of our key principles for leadership. The next thing you see, production. That would be success on the field. What's going well? Basketball team made the state semifinals, or this team improved from only one win to 7 wins, or whatever it was. Your production increased where, make sure to make note of that. What did you need? What do you need to do to improve? What area is not? Maybe our such and such team is really struggling. I'm going to write that down. I'm not going to hide from it. And then what's the plan to improve it? So, what is our plan to improve this? Not way easier said than done, obviously. If we could figure that out, we'd have a lot of money. But I don't know how to tell you exactly how to improve, but you need to have plans to try to improve production. And it can't always be changing the coach. Sometimes maybe that is the thing, but it can't always be that. There has to be some plans to help them get more organized, help support, whatever, to bring better production in those areas that need improvement. Then I thought you look down at the bottom, and I thought this was an important thing to keep up with. So oftentimes, athletic director, you're going to see some people get their way more than others. Well, the reason they get their way is they're usually organized. Organization is often the problem. So have a plan. Like, what's our current projects? We're starting a Hall of Fame, or we already got a Hall of Fame. So our current project is recognizing kids that went on to college, or recognizing our bus drivers more, or I don't know. That's whatever your current project is. And what's new for this year. Then you look at the facilities and maintenance area, and you're like, what are our current maintenance needs? We got to get a better shower installed in the field house, or whatever it is. And then ideas to explore in the future. So as coaches have their end of the year meetings, I'm adding to this list. I'm keeping a master list. And I've got three things here That doesn't mean you only need three. You can have 20 maintenance requests if you want. This is just a template to put on one page, but you need to have all your projects listed. What's new this year so you can emphasize those. All your maintenance requests, things you've turned in that you need to follow up on and make sure they get done, and then ideas for the future that we can talk about. And then what's our long-term plans? And then what concerns did we get from our surveys, our feedback? And so I think if you have all that stuff listed and you really are checking it, maybe quarterly, or I guess in athletics, probably seasonally, like at the fall, at the spring, and in the winter, um, then I think you really have a better hold to what's going on in the department, and you'll be able to support better. Because I never met an AD that would want to support their coaches, but I've met some that had a hard time doing it. And so, one of the ways that you can help support your coaches is getting organized. Hopefully, this athletic department evaluation training tool will help you. There's maybe a zoomed in version if you need to see that a little better. But overall, this tool can be one of many tools to just help you get organized. If you want access to it, you can go to parkresource.org/library. But like I always say on here, you can make your own. I mean, feel free to just take that and open up a spreadsheet, an Excel sheet or a Google sheet or a Word document or something, and just make it. Doesn't have to look like mine, but if you want that exact one, you can go to parkerresource.org/library and join our Patreon. And look forward to having more of these things with you. I hope this is helpful. And if you have any comments, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, all the things you're supposed to do, but also reach out individually if you have a specific area you want me to address. So until next time,